90-Day Fiancé Season 10. Let's meet Nikki and Justin.
You ready? All right, here we go.
Angle this a little bit, the other way.
All right.
How do I look?
Work, Barbie.
Okay.
Look, kids, it's adult film star Barbie.
I'm Nicole. I'm from Hoboken, New Jersey. I'm 47, just an age.
47. She looks like you ironed a 90-year-old. If Tim Burton had directed the Barbie movie, that's what would have happened. Also, listen to her voice. She sounds like she's been smoking heavily for many years. And she kinda looks like a man in drag. I'm not gonna hate on that though. I love drag queens. It's just impressive how impeccable they always look.
I created Nikki Exotica as an alter ego. I wanted to have another persona and then come home and be normal again and be Nicole. The difference between Nicole and Nikki Exotica, Nikki, she's a little bit of a diva. Nicole, on the other hand,
She even has the Barbie convertible car. I had that when I was little. Didn't like it though. I've never been into cars.
Nicole, on the other hand, is a homebody. Ambitious, I'm home. Come here.
She's got a Bengal cat. These are freaking expensive. I love these cats. I've always wanted one. They are between $1,500 and $3,000. I wouldn't even mind spending that much money on a cat, but it's a cat. I don't like it when cats are confined to the house. I want them to be able to roam free around the neighborhood and the garden. And we have a little forest behind our house, which is always very interesting for cats. I believe a cat does not belong into the house only. But I wouldn't dare to let a cat like this outside because I'd be scared somebody would steal it.
I love the smell of fresh roses.
Do you love roses? Do you love flowers in general? I mean, not outside in the garden. I mean in the house in a vase. Because I know I don't. You're basically putting them in a vase on your table to watch them slowly die. My husband's kind of the romantic type, and he tried to bring me flowers in the beginning, and I was like, ugh, I don't like to watch things die.
I've done every plastic surgery procedure from head to toe.
And I totally believe you. At least from what I can see under all this makeup. You can tell her nose is done, you can tell her lips are done, you can tell her boobs are fake. I have never understood the appeal of this plastic look. But then again, there is quite a number of people out there like this. So who am I to say they're wrong?
Nose, lips, jaw, chin, cheek implants, eye color change, breasts. You can't expect a woman to have all these curves naturally.
Thank you, Nikki. Girls, are you hearing this? Look at her boobs, look at her waist, look at her hips. It is not nature. The Kardashians are not natural. Nikki is not natural. There is a certain look that you see on social media everywhere that cannot be achieved naturally. Do not compare yourself to those people. It's not healthy and it's not realistic. Although, do not strive to be like Tess Holliday either. Although this might be more realistic to achieve, you don't want that.
You know, when you look this certain way, you have a lot of people judging you.
I feel called out. And for a good reason.
But when it's 80% of the world giving me positive feedback, I don't really care what the other 20% have to say. You know, if they can go kick rocks for all I care. Because there was a time where I didn't love myself. You know, I was going through a really dark time. And now I'm finally like at a place where I'm happy and I love myself. And now I can actually invite love into my life.
Yeah, she's right. You should like yourself. You have to spend the rest of your life with yourself. So you better learn to like this person. It's gonna be a really tough ride otherwise. Ah, damn it, now I like her.
I currently have a fiance named Justin. Justin is a personal trainer, and he's from Chisinau, Moldova. What kind of guy do I go for? Honestly, it's so ironic. It's everything Justin is. Tall, hot, obviously hung.
So, while I totally get the hung part, I've never understood the obsession with height. If you got a guy that's significantly taller than you, you kind of get A stiff neck from kissing? Or just looking up to him in general? What is it with tall guys? I just don't get it. Oh, by the way, you don't have to be hung to be great. It's not bad though. That's all I'm saying.
17 years ago, I was not in love with Justin. I was not with Justin. We were not dating. I was in love with a Russian guy. We met at a nightclub in New York City. He was the love of my life. We were supposed to get married. It's just that he was a bad boy, you know, and he would get into trouble and he committed a crime that he couldn't get away from and was deported from the United States.
Okay, hate me for this one? Tell me in the comments if you do. But I think being deported for committing a crime is a fair thing. Not only if you're in the US, but if you go to a country and they invite you in and they allow you to live there, which is not to be taken for granted, and you mess things up there, you harm them, you hurt them, they have every right to kick you out. I'm not against visas or moving to different countries or taking refugees. It's fine. It's great. It's the human thing to do. I don't see why someone from Russia couldn't live in France, or why somebody from Congo couldn't live in the US, or why somebody from Japan couldn't live in Germany. What was this blonde woman from 90 Day Fiancé who married an Egyptian guy? The one that moved to Egypt and then was pissed when people expected her to dress like an Egyptian woman. They weren't even being mean about it. They would just ask her and suggest, like, look, we would like for you to get accustomed to the thought and then maybe do it in the future, please. And she was like, no, you're in the wrong country, love. Just go back home. If you're not willing to respect the culture and the laws of a country, you have no business being there. I guess what I'm saying is just be a decent human being wherever you are. Please.
So I made a plan to fly out to Chisinau, Moldova, where he got deported to. I never told him I was coming.
I do like the natural look on her, though. To me, it's always a sad story when somebody's pretty like this and then does all these procedures to look like plastic. Again, if she's happier like this, fine. To me, it's sad. I'm a basic girl.
I made a profile on a friend's site in Moldova, and I found Justin. His name is Igor, but I just couldn't fathom the name Igor because it just reminds me of, you know, Frankenstein's assistant.
How can you not like somebody with the name of Frankenstein's assistant when you look like the monster? And it's kind of weird to me he accepted this. This is a very wimpy thing to do, isn't it? Just letting her rename you. I used to live in Ireland, and I met this guy. His name was Connor. And I was like, oh, that's kind of sad. I thought when I would go to Ireland and date a guy, his name would be Patty. It was meant as a joke, but he actually said, well, if you want to call me Patty, call me Patty. And I'm like, no. If somebody doesn't like your name, tell him to F off. Wimp?
So I renamed him Justin because when I first met him 17 years ago, he did look like Justin Timberlake. And it stuck, and he loves the name too.
Do you see it? I'm not sure if I see it. Let's have a look again. Yeah, kinda, I guess. The hairline and the jawline, maybe. The lips. Yeah, okay, I'll give him that one.
The first time he took me on a date, didn't even try to sleep with me. He was very sweet, gave me a kiss on my forehead, and left. And I thought it was like so like, wow, like, you know, like that was, I've never been treated like that.
Guys always get so pissed when men are accused of only wanting one thing. But it's a very common thing for guys to be like that. I'm sorry.
On my fourth visit to Moldova, Justin proposed to me.
Baby, husband. Married?
Yes.
You never told me the full story.
We got into a lot of heated arguments. And in one of those arguments, I said, yeah, well, I have a secret to tell you. I used to be a man. And he freaked.
Oh. I feel very sorry about the drag queen comment I made earlier. Is this true, or did you just try to piss him off?
I think I was about 20 years old. When I did my sex change operation, I woke up and the first thing I did was had to touch myself down there. And I'm like, oh my God, I did it. I'm a woman. I'm a woman. And I just feel like tears, you know, like coming down my eyes. I felt reborn again.
Okay, so it is true. I'm glad she's happy now. Also, look at the next picture they're showing of her. She was going on about how Justin looked like Justin Timberlake. I think she looks like Lisa Kudrow in this picture. You know, Phoebe from Friends? That makes them basically like a celebrity couple, right?
It had been about 2 years that Justin and I were dating. And when I did blurt that I used to be a man, he was in shock. You'd lie to me and do this. I traumatized him. And he went home and he was depressed for a really long time. And I feel bad about that.
So bear with me here. When I was young, there were no trans people. I am fully aware that I sound like my grandparents when they told me there were no gay people in their time. They were hiding. They were there, you just didn't see them. Because when you saw them, they would be attacked. Verbally, physically. I had a friend when I was younger. And one evening he called me. He was like, come over, now. And I was like, what's up? And he was like, I can't tell you on the phone. You gotta come. So I went. And we met in front of his house. And he told me that his mom had just come up to his room and told him, I'm trans. I'm gonna have an operation and be a man. Also, dinner's ready. Please come down. And this was how his mother told him she was transsexual. We weren't mad at the fact. We were simply mad about the way she told him, I'm trans, dinner's ready. I assume it was easier for her than sitting him down and telling him face to face and seeing his reaction. I think just telling him and then closing the door and giving him time to simmer and think and then have him come back when he's had the time to process it. Anyways, his name is Paul now. This was about 15, 20 years ago. And he's happy and everybody's fine with it now. So here's to Paul.
When was the last time you were together?
In 2007.
15 years ago.
Yes.
I love how in this season they have couples who actually know each other and have been together for a while. This sucks. I came here to trash the new couples. Now I'm rooting for them.
Justin and I kept in contact throughout the years. But years ago, we got into a conversation. He's like, how's everything? I was like, oh, I'm single, but I'm in a much better place now. I'm happy. I love myself. And he's like, yeah, good. I'm single too. And I was like, it'd be so funny if we actually gave us another chance. And he said, Nicole, you're crazy.
In situations like this, I'm never fully sure if people are in love or desperate. Because if you have tried with a person before and it didn't work, there were reasons for that. What makes you think that it's better the second time around? Has it ever worked for you? Has it ever worked for anybody you know? There are just some things in life that shouldn't be warmed up. That's French fries and relationships.
So originally when I kept making advances to come to Chisinau, his answer was no. Trans people are not widely accepted in Moldova. I don't think gays are widely accepted in Moldova. People are beat up for being who they are.
Moldova is a tiny Eastern European country between Romania and Ukraine. It's only got about 2.6 million of people, which is the same number as the city of Chicago, or Birmingham, if you prefer UK numbers. Most of Eastern Europe is still very Christian, very traditional. So I can absolutely see how she could actually be in trouble over there.
So when I go to Moldova, I need to know, if it's gonna work before he comes. And I hope we do keep building our happily ever after, because it's very rare you're gonna find a straight man to date a trans woman, especially publicly.
Why is that though? Is it an ego thing? Is it a peer pressure thing? Is it the idea of being different or being associated with the LGBTQ community as a straight guy? A lot of people do a very good job transitioning. Even if they don't, there are women with manlier features. I think my solution would just be don't tell people that your woman was a man. I mean, it completely depends on your social circle, but if they get to know this person and they find out later, it should be fine. I get that some people can be apprehensive if they have never been in contact with a trans person, but if you do know the person and you like the person and you want your friend to be happy, maybe this is the most important part, can't you just accept their choice and be happy for them? There are people out there who are married to their cars and nobody bats an eye. Okay, we do bat an eye, but we do it behind closed doors. So why do so many people feel like it's okay to attack another person based on their life choices if they are not hurting anybody? This is her decision. This is her life. What's it to you?
When Nicole was younger and she was going through her changes, I was not there. I'm gonna admit that.
Sometimes, or a lot of times, as a parent, you want something different for your kids than they want for themselves. And this is hard to accept sometimes. My boy is only 12, but we've already been through some of those things. That he wanted to do something entirely different than I had hoped for him. But if your child goes through difficult things and you are not there, and you know they're hurting, you know they're crying, they needed you, and you were not there, this is something that's going to haunt you for the rest of your life. If you have kids, support them no matter what. Please. Because you're going to cry like this lady. And you're going to cry for the rest of your life.
I didn't understand.
Do you want coffee?
I do. Thank you.
When you've been let down by your parents in a very important matter, like Nikki has, I feel like it gets kind of awkward being around them. It creates a distance between you. At least that's what happened between me and my mom. That scene how Nikki offered her mom the coffee, when you're with somebody who you know that society wants you to like, but you don't really, it should be more normalized to cut your family out of your life if they mistreated you. I'm not saying that this is the relationship they have. It's just that sometimes I wish I could have the balls to just cut ties with certain family members. But it's very frowned upon. And it shouldn't be. If you have toxic people in your life, if they do you more harm than good, it should be okay to cut them out. No matter if you're related to them or not. It's fine if it's a partner, it's fine if it's a friend. But once it's family, everybody gets on you for it. Do not accept this shit. If you feel better without them, dump them.
And I see how his friends is closing and they're retracting and walking away from him, and it's upsetting.
I know it's upsetting and it shouldn't be this way, but you won't be able to change that. Not in Moldova in this day and age. So I kind of wonder why he's not coming to the States. I wonder why he told his friends. She's been there before and it was fine back then. What has changed?
Justin told me himself that he's getting a lot of rejection and pushback from his friends. It makes me feel sad. Since I was little, I always battled depression, and it's just like this is part of the moment.
I know.
I hear that a lot of trans people battle depression, which is totally understandable. Body dysmorphia can be a really tough thing to go through, and this happens to normal people too. Normal, in quotes. So feeling like everything about your body is completely wrong every day must be exhausting. A friend of mine is with a trans woman. Like I said, back in my days, there were no trans people, and now they're just popping up all over the place, which is fine. But one thing she told me about her life before and after transitioning was that now she can have a wank without wanting to kill herself. And in a way, that's just beautiful.
Maybe he's afraid for himself. He's afraid for you. I don't know. Do you know what I mean? So we don't know what kind of hate is out there. And I know that you're going through a lot of stress.
It's a lot.
You just have to understand that it's okay, Mama. It's okay.
You there, listen to me. Yes, you, I see you. If I ever catch any of you giving people shit or even physically attacking them for what they wear and who they sleep with, I'm gonna find you. Because you suck. Unless they're sleeping with children, of course, in which case you tell me and we're gonna find Chris Hansen. Other than that, like, comment, subscribe, yada yada yada, please and thank you. Bye.